Hello guys, and it's great to be back on camera. And to celebrate this, because I am about to leave for vacation, it's way past midnight, I'm getting stuff done, so I wanted to give you guys a week-long videos and stuff. So what I'm going to do to start off this week is with a Steven Universe Creepypasta finally. And I've been dying to do this one because finally Steven Universe is back on TV, and finally we got a whole month of it. Which may or may not be good, depending on where you see it, because now they're just only running the rest of the season on, within a month. Anyway, with this story, it's called Faded Gems. Now, the story itself is actually not bad. Actually, it's really good within the context about, it's actually like an idea that the gems could eventually fade away, and it really fits with what the show has done, so it's not too far-fetched. The thing I complain about in this story is, the thing I don't like is, sometimes some of the wording can get a little bit weird, some of the dialogue gets a little off to me, and there are many mentions of, well, he was crying, but he was crying normally like he does in the show. He doesn't have hyper-realistic tears or something like that, which I get what you're doing. You're trying to subvert the fact that many of these stories have that, but being so blunt in that kind of way can backfire drastically. I'm not saying this can't be treated well. Like, I'm not saying this couldn't work. Like, if you start a story by saying, yeah, you've heard these stories before where it's like this and that, and then you read this story and you're like, oh, well, it's not what I expected, and then, yeah, I could see that working. But when you outright state in your story, oh, well, she was crying, but she at least was crying normally, her voice wasn't, like, different, or a screeching woman who sounds like she just got kicked in the stomach. No, it's not like that. You really don't need that. But the rest of the story is pretty good, for the most part, and I really enjoyed it, and I thought it'd be a pretty good start to start off this week-long video series. So, with that said, I'm going to be going on vacation in a little bit, and I am definitely happy to see the rest of Season 3 starting today. There was one day that I will remember for the rest of my life, and that day was an episode of Steven Universe. Now you might think, how could such a happy, cheerful, adventurous show go wrong? Well, I will tell you. I had gotten home and did my normal routine. Do my homework, get something to eat, etc. My mom had called down to me, telling me that she had to go walk one of her friend's dogs, because said friend was at work. So I was home alone. Normally, my brother would be with me, but he went with my mom, and my dad was at work. So I was laying in bed, on my phone chatting to friends on an app called Pic Collage, when I looked up to see that Cartoon Network was advertising New Thursdays. It had said next was Steven Universe, one of my favorite Cartoon Network shows other than Pokemon, Regular Show, and Teen Titans Go. I posted on the app earlier, saying to my followers that I would be back soon. I turned off my phone, sat beside me, and turned up the TV. I was pretty sure that this was supposed to be that Uncle Grandpa Steven Universe crossover, so I was excited. But I didn't get what I expected. The episode started with the normal title theme for the show, which I always loved to hum to. There was absolutely nothing wrong with the theme, but when it got to the title of the episode, that's when it got strange. The normal clothesline that held Steven's clothes was snapped, and Steven's shirts and pants were on the ground, dirty and a bit shredded, but not enough that they were completely apart. The title, in a bit of a lighter tint than usual, read, Faded Gems. Huh, I had thought. The episode is supposed to be named Say Uncle. I went to the guide, and it still said the title for the crossover. I thought that maybe at the last minute, Cartoon Network decided to air a different episode that they thought should come before the crossover. Man, I was disappointed. The episode started inside the house, but it was a bit quiet. Steven then came in through the screen door, looking a bit sad, but not in a depressed sort of way, just his normal sad face. It was raining outside, so I thought he was just sad he couldn't be out there. Suddenly, Amethyst and Garnet came through the warp pad, but Pearl was missing. I noticed that Amethyst had a tear running down her face, and it looked like the normal cartoon style. Very bright blue, and not clear. Not hyper-realistic at all. I was a bit surprised by this, seeing how Amethyst is normally the most hyper and cheerful of the group. I went back on Pic Collage and asked for the Steven Universe fans to chat with me about the new episode. Surprisingly, a few of my followers and friends were seeing the exact same thing that I was. For some reason, the episode went to commercials already, so I decided to chat about what was going on. We referred to each other by parts of our usernames, so this is how the conversation went. Suddenly, I heard that the show was coming back from the commercials. We all continued to watch the show. It came back to where we were, but Steven was hugging Garnet and Amethyst, sobbing. It was his normal voice, not like a realistic sob, but his normal crying. Then, for the first time that episode, someone said something. "Steven, everything is going to be okay." "No! Pearl's gone! She's gone forever!" I was shocked by this. I looked down at the conversation. I look up at the TV. Lion comes in through the door and is carrying Pearl's spear. Lion walks up to the others and drops it on the ground. It is snapped in half, but Lion didn't do it. It was obvious it wasn't bent in half, but forcibly pulled apart. How did this even happen? Garnet put a hand on Steven's shoulder and started telling him a story. "As you know, our gems are the source of all our power. If we were to get weak, our gems would lose power and thus fade. Because of this, we would no longer be able to go on, and we will just fade out of existence. We tried our best to cure Pearl, but we were too late." This shocked me. Pearl had faded away? Suddenly the title made sense. Faded gems. The gems can fade away. I looked at the TV again. I wish she was still here. He started sobbing again. The episode slowly faded to black and played the normal credits. This was so dark. I couldn't believe what I just saw. I looked back down at the phone. I look at the TV. In the normal ZN font, it says this. Then the Steven Universe crossover came on. I was surprised to see that episode. Were all the gems supposed to fade away eventually? Even Steven? Me and my friends occasionally talk about the episode, but not much. I will never forget that one faithful Steven Universe. One of my favorite Cartoon Network shows, other than Pokemon, Regular Show, and Teen Titans Go. Bullshit! Were all the gems supposed to fade away eventually? Even Steven?